Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Borderlands 3 build video, and today I'll be going over my Iron Bear Moze build called BearPunch. This is a Bearfist build for Iron Bear, which does a bit of funky stuff to help make it viable. I don't know how strong I would say Bearfist is, but it can definitely be made to do some decent damage, and it's just super fun and uses a wacky skill tree and some wacky gear. We use our shield and artifact slot to maximize the radsplosion damage to help with mobbing, and since these item slots aren't that important for Iron Bear builds, there really isn't anything lost to make this happen, as well as Moze having a couple stuff to help with radsplosions as well. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The save file will be found in my Discord, which is linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, and for the build here, the only thing we will really need is the Guardian Angel. This is to boost our Hex and its dots while we are an Iron Bear. The Guardian Angel does not boost Iron Bear at all in any way. We are just using this to boost radsplosions, which our Hex will be throwing out, which gets our damage formula and not has anything to do with Iron Bear. You'll want the Bearfist Anoint, as it's a pure mold of 300%. The other stuff doesn't matter. You can have a fight for your life weapon like Free Radical. I have the EMP5 for movement speed, and I just have a kick charger here to help with Harmonious Havoc, but it doesn't really matter. If you end up using a flame, you can use a flame friendly weapon like the No Pew Pew or like a Fire Dark Army, which I have somewhere. That's what you can do there, but very minimal there. Mainly just the Guardian Angel. Parts don't matter, just need the Bearfist Anoint. And then we have an Old God. This is for radiation damage for the radsplosions. Parts don't matter. I like having Vagabond for some move speed for out of combat, but the main thing you want is radiation, and then the Iron Bear kills gain cooldown. This is very good. So much cooldowns given here and really strong. Now if you end up using a flame, then the anointment doesn't really matter, but still nice to have. I don't really have a replacement anoint for using flames, so yeah. And then we have the recurring Hex. This is how we're going to apply our dots. By itself, it doesn't give good radsplosion dots, but because of Moze's formula and the formula we get from gear, we're able to make it do some decent radsplosions for mobbing to help this build become more viable with less ammo consumption needed. Since you're killing enemies from radsplosions, that's less attacking and fuel drain you need. You'll need the Iron Bear Throw Anoint. When Iron Bear takes damage, has a 20% chance to spawn a grenade, and this will get all your damage formula. Recurring Hex is just really good in general, so you'll definitely want that. There's two class mod options and also kind of change the skill tree, just very minor changes. So here we have the Flare. This will give V1 damage, which is only additive here with Kuka Combo. This will be active when in Iron Bear. We do have Kuka Combo going with the fire rate of how fast we deal damage with Bearfist, but it's nowhere near the amount we'll get from Flare. And the main reason we go this is because it boosts our radsplosions as well. As it is V1 damage, it will apply to the Hex and the dots, making it a great radsplosion. So it will apply to the radsplosions and Iron Bear. You will still consume a decent amount of fuel. Using Shock Hammer makes it deal a lot less fuel and pretty ammo efficient, but still good there. And then once you get out of Iron Bear because you run out of fuel, you want to kill some enemies with a Free Radical, or you can swap to the Flame, or you can just keep the Flame and have a little less stronger Flare. I don't know how needed the Flare is. It's definitely very good. I wouldn't say needed, but I would just really try and get 3 into Stainless Steel Bear, and then some action skill damage and splash radius. The Bearfists don't get splash damage, so that's mainly here for radsplosions, and the splash radius is for radsplosions, while the action skill damage is just for boosting bear. And then for eternal flame, you'll want to try and get a point on running on fumes, because in the flame version we don't go with the capstone, so that's getting the capstone there. And then you just want 4 in really big guns. Action skill damage, splash radius. Same priorities of the action skill damage, splash radius. I'd probably then go running on fumes and probably really big guns as last priority. I'm not an expert, or well, no. Splash damage should probably be the last priority, while really big guns is before that. But it's probably like action skill damage with the capstone, and then some splash radius, really big guns, and then splash damage. And then we have the artifact. You're going to want an Atom Bomb Victory Rush. The Atom Bomb will be for bigger radsplosions and stronger radsplosions, so that'll be really good there. And then we have Vic Rush, killing a badass. That should apply to our radsplosions as well, just for even more V1 damage. And then you want to get area of effect damage in the second or third slot for the stronger radsplosions. Bearfists don't deal splash, so it doesn't matter here. The only thing it would help with is the Fire Skag Damp, because we can't put many skill points in. We only have 1 point here. Doesn't really matter as much, but still very good for radsplosions. And then you're just gonna want to go with the radiation damage. This is a double roll radiation damage. Priorities wise, I'd probably put Vic Rush like on the lower end, mainly because we have flare here. Now if you use flame, that is a different story. It'll be a lot stronger there, but definitely want Atom Bomb. Area of effect damage, radiation damage a little less, since we do have an old god, but still very important. Yeah, probably like Atom Bomb, area effect damage, and then probably a mix of radiation damage and Vic Rush. Farming sucks on these, so honestly don't know. And then for the skill tree, we'll start in blue tree. Actually, no, stop that. We will start in red tree. Okay, and then for the skill tree, we are going to start here because this is the Bearfist tree. The only reason we go down this deep is to hit Shock Hammer, which will be our main damage dealer. We go 1 security bear for the bubble shield, gives damage reduction. Just 4 in armored infantry to get down the tree, and it's better than Selfless Vengeance. We've got 5 in Drowning in Brass. I think the Drowning in Brass will apply to the left weapon. That may only be Phalanx Doctrine. This may apply to everything with Iron Bear. I'd have to double check, but still good. And then we go 3 Vladoff Ingenuity just to get down the tree. You could take a point here and put it in Armored Infantry just to min-max that gun damage, but not a big deal. Experimental Munitions for when we score a crit. Iron Bear won't be scoring a crit because we aren't using anything to crit while in Iron Bear. But when out of Iron Bear, it'll crit and just help with rad dots, or not rad dots, fire dots, while using the flame class mod. And then we have full can of whip ass, entering Iron Bear, recharge rate, and then I think Moze also gets damage reduction from this in some sort, but it's not really relevant here. Also mainly getting on the tree. Then Desperate Measures is fun because we do get down at low health a bunch, but we can't die because of biofuel going on. We do technically benefit from this a bit. And then 2 behind the Iron Curtain just to get down the tree to get Shock Hammer. And we'll go over the weapons more later. And then Green Tree, we're going down to get Specialist Bear. Having more than 5 points is useless in Cloud of Lead. I just had these 2 points here. And also, if I take them out and then swap the flame, it just makes my Cloud of Lead weaker. So it's still nice to have here. And then we go 3 Stoke the Embers. I don't really know how much this is needed because we're not dealing too much fire damage, but I still keep it. You can put in the Scrappy for some nice quality of life stuff. Then we have Redistribution for ammo regen and health regen. I put 1 in Russian Offensive just to help survivability instead of in Scorching RPMs, but the rest we put in the Scorching RPMs for the hard point damage and the crit damage. Just all that's really good. And then we go Specialist Bear. Since we're using double Bearfist, this will work very, very well. And then Purple Tree, we have 3 big surplus, When using flame, I only need 1 point, but this is good fight for your life damage, so I keep it at 3. Also just good out of Iron Bear damage. Only need 1 in biofuel to stay alive forever. You can literally hit 0 armor and it will just regen back up as long as biofuel is active. The main way we'll be keeping that up is from the Hex, Rad Hex, applying fire dots. Really big guns for 1 damage, 3 in double time for movement speed and Iron Bear. 2 Harmonious Havoc is just to get down the tree and give some gun damage out of those. Unfortunately, Explosive Fury doesn't work. This status effect damage and chance would be so good for this build for the radsplosions, but it just literally does not work. You could throw it in biofuel, but I don't. 1 in Fired Up just for increased fire rate. So this is when Moze or Iron Bear applies the status effect. I don't know if this applies to Bear, but I still use it for Moze to gain increased fire rate from my guns. 4 Nitro Engines for fuel and action skill cooldown rate, and then 1 in Never Going to Give You Up. That's all you want since this has diminishing returns. Having more points isn't worth it. And then we go 1 feature creep for the damage, 3 limit break for the cooldown rate. This is what you'll want with going flare, since you won't have flame going on, and then superior firepower for the rad dots. This is why we go superior firepower, is for the rad status effect to just increase it with 100% increased damage. And that 1 running on fumes, this is really important to get. This will make you not consume ammo when you are moving. It does not make you not consume ammo when you are attacking, which is a weird bug, but it's still how it is. And then we go in the blue tree, 3 deadlines, 1 in Grizzled, just because it's a good 1 point skill. Apparently, like having 1, 4, or 5 points is really good for Grizzled, and I don't have enough points to make more than that, so I just go 1. And then 1 in Farness Skagden to apply a fire dot for flame if needed, and then 3 points into Stainless Steel Bear with the 3 deadlines is pretty much always needed. It returns fuel and reduces fuel drain, but Stainless Steel Bear, great for just Iron Bear stuff in general. Now, this skill tree is for flame. Very minimal stuff you would change if, or this is for flare, very minimal stuff you'd make for going just flame. You'd remove running on fumes, and then the 3 points in limit break, and then you would just have these 2 points here. Still want superior firepower. It's not just to get down the tree, it is specifically taken here for the status effect damage for the radsplosions. So you'd take those 4 points and probably max out Stainless Steel Bear, and then take this point out of Grizzled because you don't need it with flame. Probably put in Skagden just when maxing, and then you would probably, what I would do, because I think you'd have a couple extra points, you could put some into Phalanx Doctrine, which is fun. It'll put increased damage to your left Iron Bear arm, which is just kind of fun. But since I like to go flare for the maximum radsplosion damage, I don't go that spec. In the end, you could just go flare, and then when Iron Bear goes away, you can just quickly swap to a flame and be good, and then swap back to flare. But I don't really like doing that much, so I like to build around the cooldown. But even if with this swap, you probably wouldn't change too much, literally just like getting rid of cooldown. And then for the Iron Bear weapons, of course, Bearfist, as it's a Bearfist build, going to be going double, but then we're going to use 2 different augments. We're going to have Close the Distance and Shock Hammer. Now, the main thing for damage dealing is going to be Shock Hammer. You're going to mainly be doing this as it's very fuel efficient and does good damage as it's constantly punching an enemy. Close the Distance is only for ranged enemies, mainly flying enemies, as you can't really hit them when you're just punching right in front of you. When using flare, you'll really only want to use Shock Hammer, as it is very ammo efficient, while Close Distance takes up a lot of ammo, or fuel I should say. But if going flame, it doesn't really matter. You could use both of these at the same time just fine. But when using flare, definitely just use shock hammer when applicable with close to distance, just flying enemies. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. This definitely isn't the strongest build, and I kind of just made it as a meme, but it ended up being fun and a little bit strong. Not the strongest Iron Bear build, but still decently strong. I mean, as Iron Bear builds go, once you go to the big high health bosses, you're gonna lose off on damage, especially Bearfist. Still fun for lower tier content. And I also love the use of radsplosions. This could be more useful in other Iron Bear weapons that are more meta, but I don't really play those, so I don't know. Again, you can find the save file in my Discord, which is linked down below, as well as my other socials. If you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.